India is dependent on fossil fuels for 59% of its electric capacity. It seems coal is king when it comes to electrifying the country. Perhaps that explains why India is ranked fourth in terms of global greenhouse gas emissions after China, the United States, and the European Union. There's no denying that India needs huge new sources of energy supply to bring electricity to the 300 million Indians who are living without power. But to do this largely through polluting fossil fuels is not an option. It will lead to dangerous climate change. We've heard of conventional and abundant renewables like solar, wind, and hydropower. But are there other cutting-edge technologies that can be harnessed to secure our energy future? Hello and welcome to this very exciting episode of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. I'm Manvi Dhillon, and over the next half hour, we'll look at how waste can be used to generate power. Ravi Kailas entered India's wind energy sector in 2010. Since then, his company Mitra Energy has emerged as one of the most significant players in wind energy. Ravi Kailas, thanks very much for joining us on The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero.
Thank you.
Why is renewable energy so essential for India's energy future?
Renewable energy is one of the most critical aspects for India's energy future. And if we step back from where we are and look at the evolution of different technologies for power in different parts of the world, the cost of generating power from wind and solar today is not only competitive with thermal in most parts of the world, including India, but in many cases does much better.
Where are we today? All sources of renewable energy, what are the most popular, most prevalent sources? Any statistics that sort of give us a lay of the land?
There is a total of about 250 gigawatts of generating capacity across different sectors, including thermal, hydro, wind, and solar. Within the renewable sector, wind accounts for probably 80% of all power generated. There is about 20 gigawatts of wind power generating capacity, about 3 gigawatts of solar, and a few gigawatts of small hydro, which comprises the overall renewable energy basket in India.
What is the level of renewable energy consumption in India? How much research and development is taking place in the renewable energy sector? The answers can be obtained from Dr. Ranjan Patnaik, Director of the DuPont Knowledge Center at Hyderabad. Thank you very much for joining us on The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. Assess the state of renewable energy consumption, research and development in India today.
So as you know, India is in its emerging market section, has been growing rapidly. The economic growth in the last decade has been magnificent. To fuel that economy, you need energy security. And biorenewables, or renewable energy that includes wind, solar, and biofuels, do contribute significantly. And I think about 12% of India's energy consumption today is biorenewables. And I think if you look at the R&D sector, and also in the what I would call the entrepreneurial sector, there is significant changes happening both at the macro level and also in universities, in small businesses, and in public sectors and private sectors. And more importantly, the political will to create renewable energy as a sustainable way of getting India's energy security is taking much better traction now.
We're going to show two innovations on the show today, which basically generate energy from waste. So it's what, cash from trash? Comment on that phenomena, if you will.
This is actually going to be an economic reality. And you're trying to kill two birds in one stone in some cases where you're cleaning up India. The new drive, the political drive about Swachh Bharat. On one hand, you're not only cleaning, but you're also converting that trash into value-added products, including energy. And then the other examples, there are people looking into new areas of feedstocks, because waste energy or trash can be in many forms. And what science and technology has done has able to diversify this waste portfolio and be able to tap into all that and convert them to value-added energy. And I think this will give us a long way in terms of making much more value out of the so-called trash.
Well, thank you for setting the tone for us. Now it's time to take stock of the two innovations on the show today, which are actually generating energy from waste. Let's take a look. It's well established that the world, and specifically India, desperately need highly productive energy sources that do not emit toxic pollutants and greenhouse gases. While scientists across the world are exploring and discovering new energy solutions, the fact remains that about 90% of the energy we consume today comes from burning fossil fuels. There's no magic switch for fossil fuels off, renewable energy on. It's a long process of scientific, innovative and bold thinking that will yield new ideas and new ways of generating renewable energy which meets demand fully. Tapping into this school of thought, a Bangalore-based company has identified a crucial technology that can create a sustainable alternative to crude oil. C6 Energy has found a way to convert seaweed into a potential renewable energy source. How is C6 Energy converting seaweed into a biofuel? Are seaweed biofuels really a long-term green alternative that might just bring our carbon footprint down to Shunya? Let's visit C6 Energy to get some answers. Seaweed, as the name suggests, are plants that grow in the sea. These macroscopic multicellular marine algae are already a favorite with the cosmetics and the food industry. From fueling our bodies, these weeds have already made a giant leap by proving to be an alternate source for energy. What are the specific advantages of seaweed as a source of renewable energy, just in a nutshell?
What is special about the seaweed? It's a plant that will thrive in salt water, it will grow fast, and we have demonstrated the ability to take a particular species of seaweed, which we've chosen, and convert it to fuel.
C6 Energy, founded by Surya Narayan and his co-founders from IIT Madras, has identified a crucial technology to derive biofuel from seaweed biomass. What's more, they believe that this is a viable replacement for liquid fossil fuel. Compare the advantages of seaweed as a source of energy versus other more popular options that are being explored actively in India.
We do have a lot of biomass in India, but as I said, not enough to fulfill our future needs. But there is technology today to utilize even the little bit of biomass we have to make biofuels, and we are still not doing that. So whatever is happening, whether you make ethanol from rice straw or from molasses that is left over, or we do jatropha oil or whatever else, each one contributes a little bit to our energy independence. But we know that these existing solutions have a cap, a limit, because there's only so much biomass available and it won't solve all our energy needs. That's when we think a seaweed like this is scalable, gives us a huge amount of biomass and has the potential to completely make us energy independent.
Seaweed biomass is rich in carbohydrates, which can be converted into sugars and then be fermented to produce ethanol for fuel or other useful biochemicals. The ethanol can then be mixed with petrol and used in motor vehicles. How do you take seaweed and convert it into fuel?
Here is some seaweed, okay? So we just got it fresh from the seeds. It's a nice turgid plant. This cracks like cucumber, okay? And you can see there's a lot of moisture in there and some solids, okay? We are mainly interested in the solids because that's where all of the energy of the sun is trapped as carbohydrates. The first step is to be able to recover the solids from here. So the way we do that is we send it through special processing machines that can separate the solids from the liquid, and we actually get two streams. We get this nice pink colored liquid, it's almost fluorescent, and then there's a reason for that. And then we get these wet solids. So you can separate that seaweed into these two streams. Okay? To go from the solids to the fuels, you can adopt a variety of approaches.
By converting seaweed into a biofuel, C6 Energy is working towards providing us with a green alternative that could bring our carbon footprint to Shunya.
When the picture is complete, when we have the biomass growing and the bioconversion happening, we'd actually be able to create an alternative biofuel where we have zero land use. We have zero usage of fresh water, either in irrigation or in the conversion process. Okay? We have zero competition with the food chain. You're not competing with the same resources that are going to be used to feed and provide nutrition for all our people. And hopefully zero dependence on imported oil.
Next up, let's see how kitchen waste can be used to generate cooking fuel, an innovation that converts trash into cash in a quest for zero waste and zero energy poverty. That's after a quick break. India's urban areas churn out a staggering 55 million tons of municipal solid waste every year. Imagine if there was a way of generating electricity that ensures that less of this waste actually reaches our landfills. What if I told you that every time you take out the trash, you're throwing away energy? Proving that fruit and vegetable byproducts can be a potential source of fuel is Green Power Systems, a clean tech company based in Bangalore. Green Power's innovation, the Bio-Urja, is probably India's first viable biogas to energy solution. Let's see how Green Power Systems is working towards achieving Shunya waste. Every kitchen generates food scraps for disposal. According to statistics, organic waste constitutes 60% of total municipal waste in India. Rough estimates suggest that a commercial kitchen generates anywhere between 300 to 500 kilograms of kitchen waste daily. Showing us the true value of these scraps is a Bangalore-based company, Green Power Systems. Their innovative Bio-Urja plant provides a viable waste-to-energy solution designed for urban kitchen establishments. How did the Bio-Urja plant specifically come about in response to the waste issue that you were trying to address?
If you look at the waste numbers and all, it's a very city-centric problem. For instance, 25% of the country's waste comes from Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata alone. And again, within those cities, a very large chunk of the waste comes from the bulk waste generators. So at the same time, if I were to say that we want to enable to start off with only the bulk waste generators in the top cities, that is still realizable. And that is what we started off with. The idea behind Bio-Urja was to build a viable solution, an economically viable solution for urban establishments which they could have at their premises.
Reaching out to over 1.3 million children in 9 states of India, Akshay Patra is one of the largest school meal programs in the world. This kitchen in Bangalore delivers 100,000 meals to children per day, generating a mammoth waste every day. But the Bio-Urja plant installed in campus ensures that every organic scrap counts. What are the benefits of this plant?
See, after installing the Bio-Urja stove, maybe every year we are saving around 14 lakhs we used to purchase almost 70 cylinders every month, and that is almost 10% of our cooking. 90% of our cooking goes through the steam that we generate, and 10% of cooking is through the gas. So all these 10% is being saving us. The 15 lakhs which we are saving is feeding for almost 5 lakh children every day.
The Bio-Urja plant is helping Akshay Patra attain the goal of zero organic waste. But just how does this reactor convert bio-waste into bio-CNG? Organic waste is coming into this big box-like container.
Yeah.
What happens next?
So inside this, the waste is digested over a period of 2 to 2.5 weeks. If you look at it, you won't get to know what's happening actually. It's a controlled reaction, but through our health monitoring, we get to know what is happening inside the reactor. As far as the gas is concerned, it goes to one of these two temporary balloons that you have here. The moment they are filled up, again they have pressure sensors inside. The moment they are filled up, it sends a trigger. The pressure sensor sends a trigger to the control logic, which is the heart of the solution, which in turn compresses the gas and stores the gas in a pressure cylinder kept next to the kitchen.
The Bio-Urja plant generates up to 70 kilograms of LPG from 1 ton of food waste and can be set up in both residential and commercial kitchens. Some of the other key features include the fact that this is a plug-and-play biogas system which needs no civil work. It's unmanned, has no odor, and requires zero consumption of water. Where are your other installations? Give us a sense of just how far you've spread now.
So in India, we are there in 7 states right now. We have around 12 installations. We are in Andhra Pradesh, where we have 4 systems, including a mini power plant. We are in Rajasthan, we are in Orissa, we are in Gujarat. We are setting up in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and so pan India we do. In North India we have 3 installations. In the south we have the remaining 9, and in the next 6 months we plan to be in 4 more states, including possibly Jammu and Kashmir.
It's compact, effective, and economical. Bio-Urja has what it takes to whip up a renewable energy solution in Indian kitchens.
We have given a solution which has a zero waste footprint for Akshay Patra, zero fossil fuel footprint, and with respect to waste, again a zero carbon footprint.
We're back with Dr. Ranjan Patnaik, Director of the DuPont Knowledge Center at Hyderabad. Dr. Patnaik, let's start with C6 Energy, essentially generating biofuels from seaweed. What do you make of this innovation? How far could it go?
I really am very fascinated by the concept of converting something that grows in the sea, that too in the water, and make it to a transportation biofuel that can run cars and motors in the land. And I think if you look at India, the pressure on the land is humongous, not only for economic development that is already going on, the population pressure. So where do we look for the next generation of feedstocks? And in that sense, I think this idea catches the imagination of looking into the oceans, into the sea, and harvesting a unique variety of feedstock and then converting it into biofuels. And this magnitude and the scale is unimaginable.
Green Power Systems, the Bio-Urja plant. Comment on this innovation and whether or not you think it has widespread potential in India.
You know, this one also catches my imagination in the other direction. When you look at C6 Energy, it's looking into the ocean, the scale of things. And what energy is about is that how you can also create energy in the very localized manner, even in the small. And therefore, the Bio-Urja concept of customizing waste into energy in very localized areas, distributed way, is quite fascinating, because it now all of a sudden makes energy accessible to everybody in the world. And converting waste into trash at the point of creation also helps quite a bit. The logistics of moving waste and putting it somewhere to dispose it is another challenge that doesn't have to be dealt if a Bio-Urja does scale up in numbers and the adoption rate increases and the economic viability of such a concept comes to fruition. It would be a game changer.
Can you imagine a future for India which is powered entirely, 100% by renewable energy with zero environmental impact, Shunya environmental impact?
If I were to stretch my imagination, and my personal belief would be, why not? If you really think about India being a large country, its energy demands are huge, it's complex, but so are its natural resources. The wind, the energy, the oceans, the biomass availability, and the varieties of biomass and the magnificent rate at which technology is coming into place, I don't see why it cannot be drilling towards that concept of zero dependence on fossil fuel.
We're back with Ravi Kailas of Mitra Energy on the part of Shunya Quest for Zero. Articulate just how important science and technology is for the future of renewables in India.
So I would say the renewable energy sector within the larger energy sector has seen the most impact of science and technology, and going forward it is going to have even greater impact. Let's take solar for example. The price of solar panels has fallen by a factor of almost 10 times over the last 10 or 15 years. So it's a dramatic change. When you compare that, the new bids for thermal plants in India, the price for power is around 6 rupees. So we are almost at grid parity even on solar today.
This is the part of Shunya Quest for Zero. What is your vision for India's renewable energy sector in Shunya terms?
I think that India has a very realistic chance of being the world superpower in renewable energy. And our quest for zero should be that there are 0 countries ahead of India in renewable energy terms.
Well, certainly heartening to hear what you have to say about India's renewable future. Thanks very much for joining us on the part of Shunya Quest for Zero. There's no doubt that a larger push is needed to boost renewables in India, where energy demand is expected to double over the next 20 years. India has a long way to go before waste-to-energy solutions become the preferred method of waste disposal. But over the past half hour, we have seen 2 innovators who are striving to achieve just that. This not just reduces carbon emissions, it also ramps up energy access. That's it on this edition of DuPont Presents, the part of Shunya Quest for Zero, a show that celebrates science and innovation, technologies that could secure our future, human ingenuity that could reduce our challenges to zero. Till next week then, goodbye.